This is, of course, the Alpha Navigator Cup Final, and we've got some extremely high-level play from these players. This is, of course, a special tournament that started during the alpha stages, the beta stages of Stormgate, and there have been 8 of these events going on, and now we're getting into the finals. Got our series going. Let's jump into it, y'all. Here we go. Mixu versus Hydra on Broken Crown. Spawning up in the north, it is our last Vanguard player remaining. He is known as Mixu. And his opponent, spawning in the south, our Infernal player, who eliminated Mixu originally. He's known as Hydra. So we have a great storyline for you guys with this series because it is that rematch. The potential for revenge to happen here. And we already see Mixu very quick with the micro here, being annoying here, trying to get rid of all that white health and just trying to be as annoying as possible. The goal is to kind of try to keep him off his secondary resource, especially because he's opening up with a conclave opening, which is a simple, easy way to kind of go about things. Point is, you have this little gap here where you can see the imps walking through. You get to put your gaunt there, protect it. His goal is to kind of go for this opening, build up, and expand from here. So yeah, here we go. It's going to move his way forward here. There's the reveal. Mixu going to attack, but both players kind of in that agreement. Let's expand. Let's go ready for the next stages. We don't really have to worry too much, and we're going to see Mixu go for expand first before he even worries about a barracks. And part of that is the fact that he has this scout. He already has an attacking unit on the map, so he can get away with being able to do this and not have any fear that a big push is coming across the map. He also got that confirmation there is an expansion coming, where Hydra has to be more defensive here. He has to keep his Gaunt out because we know that in a straight-up fight, Dog's going to beat the Gaunt. Gaunts are very weak. They're glass cannon. They could easily die in a fight, so we got to be careful of that. There's a Dog coming back. Just going to be annoying, but double Gaunt's going to help out. Oh, he attacked his own shrine for a second. Get out of here, Dog. Only I can attack my stuff. Oh, no. We're going to see the Iron Vault added in here. Meat Farm, which if you're playing in this matchup, Meat Farm is perfect for putting in the main base. The little Fell Hogs help defend against the potential of scouts coming in. Now, there's the double barracks coming out here. One thing to note in this matchup for Mixu, his units are very strong against Infernal. We talk about how brutes fall off. They fall off so quickly in this series. They are necessary as meat shields and tanks, but otherwise they're not very useful in this matchup. You really got to get to the higher tech stuff as an Infernal player, where Mixu can go heavier on the bio, going for Exos, going for Lancers, and take advantage of his opponent's stuff. All right, we've talked about the creeping. This rock is the key thing. You do this little dance back and forth, kite your units back, and we'll slowly start weakening, turning these into those lovely fiends that you're looking for. Allow him to kind of creep up a little bit more here on the map. Speed camp's gone. Will he be able to get this resource camp for free? The Dog is on the hunt. He sees the brute, so he knows what's happening. But with the Lancers coming out here, he's not that worried about it. We keep talking about it. This creeping aspect here is going to be kind of given up for free. That's perfectly fine. We know that's going to happen. Nothing too crazy other than the fact that fiends have snuck their way into the main base. And a little bit of harassment. No real damage, but just enough to pull the attention of your opponent. But very nicely done here of being able to kind of sneak his way into the base. This is also on the back of Hydra taking a third base. Saying, cool, I know that you're going to be out here doing this sort of shenanigans. You're going to be on your side of the map. You're going to be a little bit more defensive, powering up, getting yourself ready. I'm taking a third base. Mixu, though, cleared the trees. He went for an expansion first. He's getting quite a lot of resources, so he's ready to take his third base. And we're going to see this kind of both players are set up for this next stage of the game, right? They've got a fighting force here. We're going to get out here. We're going to see what information we can get. Even with this, we know that there's going to be the Shroud Shown, something that Hydra is very good about, making sure that he has his own defensive structures here to kind of help himself out. He's got a couple of brutes. There's those kind of meat shields. We need these in the army to help protect us so our Gaunts can deal the damage here. But we see him kind of like posturing, looking around, making sure things are good. We've got our next stage, the Doom Weaver drops. We keep talking about it. This is the tried and true playstyle that you need to be learning if you want to play Infernals. It's very strong, very powerful. You've got to have some defensive structures to keep yourself alive in case your opponent decides to just charge their way forward, which is very possible. But we'll see what is the reaction. Here we go. Using the double brutes in here is really key to help you kind of use the meat shields to block, but Lancers are there. Here's the difference between it. We can go in the low ground and start attacking. Your Lancers are now useless. You've got no exos to help keep you at bay. There's no little, oh my gosh, he's going to lose a couple of them actually. The Fiends are starting to spawn. We do see kind of the big charge up here, but at the same time, here come the Lancers. They're right-clicking down, targeting down the Shroud Stones. One's going to go down. A second one's going to go down. In the meantime, that means that the Doombringer is going to try to find another angle to attack, and they do. A couple Exos are coming out, and that immediately gets targeted down and killed off, so Fiends are going to be popping out here. How are the Lancers doing on the other side? They're doing great work. The Infernal forces are weak in comparison, but he's got to be careful. He's got to charge up. There is the recall back. He says, I need forces back at home. Recalls back and drops it out, forcing all of the Lancers to run away, but we're starting to get some veterans in the army. That means that they're getting more health. They're going to be getting more power onto their army here. Very, very scary to have to deal with here. Now, this put a stop to the attack, but for now, doesn't mean it's done and over with. But that was a great hold from both players. Mixu and Hydra both attacking and defending at the same time, positioning themselves in a great spot to transition into this next stage of the game. See the scout still running around checking things out. We are seeing the ritual chambers getting added in here. How is things going to progress here for Mixu, though? He is going to be getting himself the health cam. He's getting himself additional exos, really relying heavily on this bio. More sentry posts going to start getting added in here as he continues to poke up here, utilizing those veterans in his army to try to get some damage done, but this has got to be very careful. Again, the brutes aren't really actually heavy damage dealers here. They're really just kind of job is to absorb and take hits while the rest of these forces can kind of get in and be annoying in the back. Those gaunts are what really matter in this, and this is the power of Mixu's multitasking skills. Get in there, speed his way forward. He's of course got that ability to kind of upgrade his way forward here. All right, they go to start attacking. All right, increase the attack and movement speed by 5% for 5 seconds. Max up to 50. They're going to speed their way across. We got ships passing in the night, a force going on the left-hand side while the Doombringer is back on the right. You have to be able to continue to harass your opponent, right? You can't get away with doing nothing. Oh, that's what we opted for. Look at that. Boom. Exploding imps. So that is what that ritual chamber was for. You get an upgrade that turns your imps into banelings. And he just decided to drop 4 right on his opponent's mineral line. Huge, huge victory here. Lancers here will try to be putting a stop to this expansion here. Any little bit of damage that they do now is great because it will make sure that this does force the cancel off. You know, very, very nice. Oh, the Weavers are out. So now we get to see where his transition is after this. Lancers, though, jumping on top of this force here. There's not very much to help defend it. Weavers are strong, but they need a little bit of support with it. There's the push. We got to see Exos added in. Imps coming down here. We know what that means. We will be seeing some Baneling explosions coming out as they light themselves on fire. There they go, running through, and Lancers are completely obliterated. Exos trying to kite their way back here, and great little push here for Mixu to force this. It is, of course, a nice hold so far. Weavers are coming out here, going to be able to help keep this stuff at bay, but the Exos staying alive is key, right? We're starting to see some of them start to advance to that veteran status here, making sure that they're stronger. Oh, one gets pulled, yanked. Get over here. You are now going to be part of the Infernal Army. Welcome to the Fiend Army. And we see the economy start to diminish, though. The explosions are necessary when your opponent is going for a heavy bioforce. So how are you going to deal with losing so many imps? Well, how about a ninja expansion up here? This is going to make things much harder for our opponent here. He's going to have to be aware of this, or at least try to scout this. Is he going to take his own expansion? We're seeing a little bit of tech up here. Our Sentinel is coming out here, so we do have a little bit of spell casting to kind of help us out in this position here. We are going to have access to that kind of all these resources powering up, getting into the next stage. Atlas getting added into the mix. This is my favorite Vanguard unit, other than our, of course, our favorite Vanguard unit, but worst one to fight against, I guess I should say. Because once it gets locked into this mode here, it's really hard to deal with. Oh, is he going to find an angle? Look, he just walks some imps forward. This ninja expansion is huge for that. There he goes, charging his way forward. Can he heal these? Can he keep them alive? Does actually sneak his way out there. Great control there, keeping them. And he's like, how did you get over here? What happened? How did those imps show up? And this base allows him to continue to do that, right? He can keep sneaking his way forward here. Look at this. Oh, he's rallied. Oh, okay. He's all of his stuff is on hotkeys. So when he goes, okay, imps, go over here. Now, what will he notice when that imp comes from over this angle? Will he pay attention to the angle that it came from? All right, evacs here. This is the scary part. This is the stuff that really skilled Vanguard players are able to do. It's this Atlas drop. You load up your little evac, your medevac with this Atlas. It's in siege mode. It pops out and starts raining fire. Here's the thing. The floor is lava. He's gotten the upgrade, so as soon as it lands, now it deals a little bit of this lightning fire on the ground here. Anything that walks through it will be taking damage. Anything that's standing on it will be taking damage, but okay, we're forcing our positions over here. Oh, lights them all up. And look, it's only a short time before they actually explode. So he runs out of there, forcing all that away. In the meantime, we're seeing a little bit of harassment still with the Atlas here. And now we're going to need the Weavers in here. Help out. Imps coming in here. Can he single target a lot of that down? Actually targets down the deer for a second when he's microing it. Imps getting cleaned up with the next Atlas added into the mix. Look at that. Boom. Denies that completely here. More and more imps streaming their way across the map. Very cool to be able to see. The Exos are in the back dealing a lot of damage. The Atlas here, though, is busy fighting the deer. Be careful, your Atlas is dead. Oh, no, that is not what you want to see happen here. Really kind of got sucked into attacking that camp and ended up losing the Atlas for free. But we've got one more over here. Oh, imps, what are you doing? Trying to explode. It's one hit. That Atlas is one hit from death. But this is so annoying, so frustrating to have to deal with. The towers are all dead. Look at this. Watch how quickly these units fall. Oof. He's got to get that back and heal it up. An additional shrine getting added in here so we can try to get his economy back up. But this is the scary part of the Exo army, is that, with the Exos, they're going to continue to power up, right? We've got rank 2 elites. Oh, great Weaver pull here, grabbing the Atlas. That's exactly what he needed here. Magmadon's getting added in. We're getting the higher tech units, which are going to be very important here. The Magmadon's got to get close here, but look, it's so hard to get close with the amount of DPS that is available here for all of these Exos. And he's going to try to make his way forward, trying to climb up the ramp here, but not really finding the angle he needs. Going to actually snipe this base, and he could just back up. Going to get a lot of imps for free. Doesn't actually end up exploding them. In the meantime, he's got so much micro going on that evac does be able to retreat back home. Just like how we have the recall ability, those units will be able to kind of retreat back to base. But huge explosions coming out, using pretty much all of his imps to clean up this army. But it is pretty much cleaned up. The few forces are going to try to kite their way around. They're so fast here with those upgrades, and you see him kind of zipping his way out of this base. We do see additional higher tech units, Hellborns added in here to kind of do their shotgun blast. We see them do that AoE behind them to kind of blast their way forward here, and it will be actually taking out another Weaver so close. If he can start eating some of these units, it will be able to keep him alive, but he is not able to. The next round of units show up. We've got the med techs to try to keep everything alive, and big surge of brutes coming out. But again, brutes are just meat shields. They aren't the damage that he needs here. But guess what we just found? We found the next stage here. There's the sentry post coming up and said, what are you doing? This is my base. You cannot have this base. The ninja expansion has been found. Resource camps now are going to start getting taken in the center, but all of these barracks are just constantly producing units. Oh my gosh, you just hear imps exploding everywhere. There he goes. Atlas has come over. He's had enough of it. Says, no more. Let's clean this base up. Oh, a sneaky little Shroud Stone. It's going to come on out here. And, oh, my gosh, 1 health evac. Great hot pickup there, being able to keep that alive. This is such a exciting game and really telling about Hydra's skill level to kind of stay in this for as long as possible, even with the amount of pressure that Mixu is throwing his way. And look, there's the imps. Ooh, good dodge, making sure that they do not explode on his forces, but trying to jump on the Weaver. The Weaver is the scary part of this army here, as well as that Hellborn in the back. He's less worried about the Hellborn as long as he can be able to kind of keep his Atlas alive here. And there's the GG is called. What a great start to this series here, as Mixu showing the reason why he has made his way through the loser bracket here to fight in this loser bracket final. What an aggressive game that was. My gosh. I love seeing such a high-paced, high-powered game from these players here. They are really going in here, trying their best to kind of make it happen. Their tournament life is on the line. Once they're out here, they're out. All right? They're sitting here waiting to make something happen. The imps was a great tech choice because we saw the imp drop, go in there, be able to explode, get some of those bobs killed off. He used them to help defend a couple of times, but then it was kind of like the Atlas drops came out, and by investing into that, you aren't able to invest into ways to kind of deal with the Atlas drop. We saw so many times that it was sitting there on only like 1 health, the little medevac there. So it was like, I really need to clean this up. I really need to kill this, but I don't have the tech to sit here and like make my Scourge to be able to blow that up. My Gaunts aren't really able to get close because the floor is lava. If they get anywhere near it, they're going to die. And you're constantly attacking with your Lancers and your XL army in addition to that. So Mixu really going for that multitask game plan here and stretching Hydra to the limits in that game. So such a great series and start to this series here. We are going to be going into Secluded Grove as our second game. Game number 2, Secluded Grove. Spawning up here in the north, it is our red Vanguard player, currently up 1-0 in this best of 5 loser bracket final. He is known as Mixu. He's going for his revenge. Good lucks coming out from his opponent, spawning in the south, the blue Infernal player, Hydra. Hydra going for the same plan. Set up the conclave with a nice little gap so he could be able to throw his gaunts there. We got our doggo running all over the place, scouting, checking things out. Every now and again, you'll see like forward positions of players that really want to go for very aggressive creeping. So that's partly why the scout is all over the map, checking things out before going and doing some harassments. We're seeing a expansion first here. He says, you know what? I am going for that command post. Let's go. Let's jump in there. Send the bobs over there. Let's speed it up. Let's get going. It worked out great last time. I know it'll work out great this time. And so he's coming in here, dropping that down. His opponent is going for a similar plan. Was not even harassed. Didn't even have to worry. There was no doggo over here to stop him from getting that imp out there. So we'll see some gaunts start to get added in here. How will he transition after that? We know what our Infernal players are going to do. They kind of do the same stuff we've been seeing. There's going to be drops. How will you respond to the drops? But will Mixu go for an aggressive play? There he goes. All right, he's on the hunt, finding those little flowers to get him extra resources. That's what he's hunting for. He says, "Come on, scout dog, find me all the resources." He knows they're hidden somewhere on the map there. But economy is getting up and running for Mixu. We have not seen too much of the kind of adjustments in play yet. Neither player has really had a need to kind of go, oh, what I did didn't work. Let's try it again. Because really what, Hydra did worked pretty well. He did everything that he could to hold off against the onslaught and the power that Mixu was sending his way nonstop. It was like, I'm going to just hold W and just go. Or going. Everybody move forward and get him. In the meantime, we're seeing the creeping start to take place. This is, again, the thing we talk about with Infernal players. If you're going to be playing Infernal, you have to get used to sitting here and creeping out like this. There's no reason not to increase your army supply by using the gaunts to creep. Other than the fact that, you know, it can be a little bit challenging to keep up with your macro, especially if you're going for a very fast investment into a third base. Something that I love to see if I know my opponents are economically doing this and I feel safe enough that I can be like, all right, cool. Is he going to kiss the imp? Oh, is he going to scout it? He's going to scout it. That is huge. What is the response? How is he going to deal with this? Fiend's going to run back and start to deal with this. Are we going to get another aggressive push? Say, okay, I now need to find an angle to be able to push towards you and deal with this, or am I going to take a quicker third base? He's getting the hedgehogs. There we go. There's the mech bays added in. Now, you thought that things were scary last time we saw these hedgehogs out versus dogs and lancers. Just wait till you see how annoying it is to fight these as an Infernal player. Oop, the scout comes out. He knows that there are going to be hedgehogs coming now. So, Fiends, of course, are going to be the key unit here that you need in order to stop these. How well that works out, that's a whole different thing. Because these gaunts are, again, made out of paper. Now, this is the nice thing here. You have to hide in the trees. Because, look, he can't even get to the trees before these guys are getting killed off. Ooh, there they go. They're going to get him. He's going to trap him. Oh, my gosh. Using the speed camp even. He kept the Fiends over there to try to get them a little bit faster to be able to kite them and get them over there. Second one will get killed off. So kills off two. Two, of course, did respawn, but there's no more Fiends here to kind of help chase him down and get the catch there. But that was great big brain plays utilizing this speed camp to make sure his Fiends were even faster than they were before. Normally, of course, they are very fast units, but he needed them to get even faster there to be able to catch up to those hedgehogs. Meat farms, shroud stones coming up, securing this third base. Additional hedgehogs are going to come out. How well is he going to be able to poke up? Let's see. Finds a couple of angles. And there, look at this. Single targets down. Will start having to start kite his way around here. And, oh, got to be careful. They're very low. Ooh, the dance. The dance. Will he get it alive? And he does. Oh, my gosh, they're so low. 6 health left. He's got to make his way back home, get them repaired up. But he is just going, hey, I'll get my third base. We'll get in here. We'll see Bob get in here. Repair-O-Matic comes out and immediately starts repairing these up. So this is the exciting dance that we get to see. The stress levels of our Infernal player are increasing. We're going to see a Shroud Stone come out. But even then, Shroud Stones, they'll do a decent amount of damage. They give us an initial burst of, okay, information. Where are the hedgehogs? But it's going to be dangerous. There we go. Here's our response. Here's the thing about the hedgehogs. They're going to catch this, and look at that. Immediately, they flip into anti-air mode. Once they're in that mode, they cannot actually attack ground units, but all they get to do is attack air units. So that is really cool to be able to see. He's going to go zoom around, clean up some of these creep camps, and that's the advantage of him going for this mech route, is he's got the speed in which to do this. Here comes the Doombringer, though, swinging over on the right-hand side. Bobs are going to run away. We'll actually get a couple of them off here, and we'll be turning those into Fiends. There we go. One of them is turning into our anti-air mode, the rest staying on the ground here. So he's basically locking this position down, saying, nope, you may not have this. This is not yours. Doombringer, not very effective, but this is the scary part. You have to find an angle, and you have to try something to be able to do that. Hedgehogs swinging their way over, going to try to find an angle to attack. Says, okay, if you're going to be dropping me, then that means you don't have as much over here to defend. And, oh, the Hedgehog will start targeting down units. You see him be able to do that. Lots of the Bobs running away, and the Hedgehogs actually decide to return home. They said, we're going to put a stop to this. We're not going to have you zip around the map, think you could do whatever you want. Oh, does he get an angle of it? All right. Look at those missiles. All right. Expansion's coming down. Securing our fourth base for Hydra as he sets up. Progresses himself forward here. We're going to see him start to kind of add in there. We see Shadow Clef getting added in. Oh, double Shadow Clef? Oh, he was in that panic mode of just like, what? Where's my Shadow Clef? I must not have it yet, because that is just providing additional units and upgrades. It does not actually produce units like our Iron Vault or our Conclave do. Hello. An imp coming from here. Does that mean there's a base? There is a free base to be able to have. So we're going to be zoning this out, trying to be able to take this out. You can send, look at this, Lancer up here to kind of keep attacking this, keep being annoying while we start to pounce on this base. And look how fast that goes down. The DPS there is crazy. We do see a Shroud Stone come, lock this in, says go away, get out of here. You cannot have this base, but that base lost like half of its health so quickly here. He's got to be very careful, though. Lancers are still being annoying over here. He could send the rest of his units over there, clean this up, but he doesn't want to get trapped in the corner. And there we go. We see him go right for the Doomweaver. Clean setup, says no more drops. We're not dealing with it. But that's a lot of tech addition here. Hellborn's added in, little shotgun blast that we need. If he can hold still long enough, those hedgehogs will start getting fire rained upon them. But we run over to the corner, start healing up, and it's actually Mixu that goes for the center. I was wondering which player was going to opt for that. That is one of the benefits of this. There's lots of resources here. You, of course, tear down the trees, but you've got to be careful. We could start to see players blast their way through and start finding angles to get into the center. Mixu's job is to annoy his opponent, keep him trapped over here, deal as much damage as possible. But look, you start seeing the splash damage. A lot of these troops are going to start getting into the red and yellow there. So he's got to keep healing them up, keep them alive as long as possible, because this army is going to get scarier and scarier with those Hellborns. Oh, he jumps on it. Look at that. Fast, fast, fast. Going to start taking him out, but we'll take a couple of extra shots to do it, and we'll see. That's the speed of the hedgehogs. That's the danger of fighting this force, how quickly he can micro his way around and get out of there. Our Infernal player has to be careful, has to keep these high-tech units alive. We're going to see heavy, heavy gaunt counts because, again, that's still the way that you want to go. The longer the game goes on, brutes become less and less impactful, less and less useful. This spot will start to get the Shroud Stones up, which is nice. The more you get, the easier it's going to be. But look, he can still just get in here, pounce on these, and immediately melt them. Boom, boom, boom. One goes down. Second one goes down. Third one's going to go down. Lancer's coming over here, forcing the troops to get in. Oh, will he get it? Oh, only catches a few on the end with the plague there. Shotgun blast coming out. Atlas is here. Did he get the upgrade? Not yet, but look, oh my god, all of the gaunts just melted. That one Atlas shot was exactly what he needed. Hedgehogs can start moving their way forward here. We'll start to kite back a little bit, doing their best, microing here. We do have those Hellborns doing their shotgun blast, trying their best to kind of keep things at bay, but that's tough. This is the line to hold. The Atlas are now here. Look how it looked almost leveled up already here. Almost at the veteran status from that one shot that it had. Really going in, getting the upgrades here. We're going to even start getting some of those drop plays allowed to happen. There it is. There's the evac. So we can start loading up Atlas and really start dropping in. There it is. Boom, boom, boom. You can load up 2 Atlas, and now you're in the juggle mode. I will drop them. Think of Reavers in StarCraft 1 where you're trying to get a shot off and lift them up. It's that sort of micro skill that these players are going for here. And that is a scary line to worry about. There are now 4 Atlas back there that you can't even get close to. There's no Doom Weaver drops here. There's no way that you can be able to get in and get behind this army. So now Hydra is just kind of stuck going, well, what do I even do here? How do I deal with this as the Atlas are allowed to rain fire from above? And, oh, he's seen it. He knows that the center has been taken now and knows that this is going to be even worse for him to have to deal with. Oh, my gosh. Look at this. Blast after blast. Things are getting worse. Hey, we're getting the Vulcans in here. Watch how much damage these do to any units in a line here. As more and more, oh my gosh, just more and more gaunts are just melted under. We have the battlefield littered with bodies of the Infernal player here as his army is kind of crumpled under the mech force of Mixu. And oh, there's a little bit of damage done. We get to see at least one of the Atlas is starting to get taken down here, but repositioning, getting himself for more and more forward here, more and more Atlas added in here, more and more Hedgehogs and more Vulcans. This pure mech army is the powerhouse that we're looking for Mixu here. We do see an army swinging over to the right. This is dangerous. Are you going to try to find an angle? If you can get over here and are able to get on the production, things can work out well, but by going for this route, it is a risk. switching yourself over to this side here. And look at this. Hedgehogs are catching the army rotating, and he will start cleaning up the Gaunts. Gaunts aren't really able to be in the front, and oh, melted under the Atlas. The upgrade is here. The floor is lava. There's no way that those are going to be able to keep up with this fight, and this is kind of the Hellborn last-ditch effort to try to make something happen here as he starts slamming his way forward here. But the Atlas are doing extreme work here. Vulcans added into the army. Hedgehogs still a nuisance as they chase down this army, and we do see the big push forward here. The rain of fire coming down from the Atlas, dropping down bombs from the sky, making sure that there's nothing. Here we go. Now we're seeing the Shadow Flyer coming in, trying to make something happen. These are those Scourge we were talking about that you need to kind of tech up into to try to get these out of the sky. The problem is that these evacs get to drop mines out and make it even harder for the Shadow Flyers. Here's a look. Sky mines make it even harder for those Shadow Flyers to do what they're supposed to be doing here. This expansion taken, all of these resources getting pumped into these Atlas, getting pumped into these medevacs, and now the rain of fire happens. This base is forfeit. You wanted to mine here? No, you can't. Same time, we're going to see the army start to rotate its way down. A big wave of blue coming, but what can you even do? Look, here are the sky mines. Let's load up and get on out of here. Oh, you don't really have much over here? All right, let's load up. Oh, look at this. The Shadow Flyers. Oh, my gosh, he's going to get one. No. This is the race. So, just like we have that recall, you can run your way back home, and, oh, he does end up dropping them out. We'll lose some of those. Does he save some? Doesn't really matter, because, look, he's got even more walkers coming out. There they go. Atlas repositioning themselves. Bob's coming over here trying to help out, keep these guys alive. But here we go. The little Hellborn. Ah, there we go. Magmadon's added into the mix, but he can't really get close enough to kind of really utilize the slam. Now we're starting to see it come over here on the left-hand side, but the hot pickups are still used with the evac here, and it's just nothing but fire on both sides. The Hellborns throwing their shotgun blast across. We get to see, of course, all of these Atlas raining fire down from above as well, and things are looking rough here as we're trying to find any angle to get any sort of any sort of damage done, as a bunch of fiends appear out of nowhere, start swarming their way forward here, and this Atlas play is going to be in trouble as more and more evacs start to go down as more Shadow Flyers going. So huge shout out there for Hydra for being able to keep things going, keep himself alive here. He was able to secure a base here. Even though he lost that expansion in the south, he was able to get another base up. The problem is, how is he going to utilize these resources here? He's trying to get a base up in the top center, but guess what? We see Mixu finding it and saying, no, this is my base. Stop trying to take this expansion. I'm not going to let you do it. There we do see Hellborns raining fire from the center. We see more Gaunts. Oh my gosh, that's the problem with going for that Gaunt army. You need them, you need the damage, you need to make fiends, but you can't get anywhere close because the Atlas just immediately eliminate all this. That's the power of Atlas versus Hellborn. Hellborns do have a lot of power, but look, these Atlas here are getting even stronger and stronger here, right? Oh, it's going to be much harder for them to have to deal with here. And he just kind of waddles his way forward, locks it in, and will start raining more fire from above. Hellborn's going to start blasting their way forward. You can see. Oh my gosh, the floor is lava. You're hurting yourself. Hedgehogs coming forward. Vulcan immediately gets cleaned up here. Hedgehogs are trying their best to kind of be that buffer to get up close, and there's only a few Hellborns really trying to hold this position here against the onslaught of the Atlas, but it's working. The Flay Dragon is out. Enough troops have died. It's a big investment of resources, but he knows that his opponent doesn't have as much anti-air. If he can be able to get in and get on top of these, this Flay Dragon does have that plague ability, right? He can start being able to hit units and turn them into fiends of his own. So if he can do enough damage with this, he will start to change the tide of battle. Yes, the floor is lava, but what are you going to do? Oh, big shield comes down, saving that last Atlas right there. It's got to be careful. Hedgehogs do get to go into that anti-air mode and will start to kind of rain their rockets on top of that dragon. The dragon is, of course, that big turning tide in this force. Big push of fiends. His goal is to get up here, make a lot of brutes, get a lot of fiends, jump on top of this army if he can. Lots of bobs coming out here. They're trying to be the blockers here. They're trying to be on mass repair, mass attack, and it's just nothing but chaos down below. Fire raining from above as Atlases still hold the line. The dragon falls. That was insane. Nothing but chaos down below as we see Hydra regroup, reposition, try to find something else to be able to get his way in there, but he is holding on. He's not giving up. He's not going to go down without a fight. We do see the Atlas coming out, going to try to break this base, which is going to be important to note because Hydra can see where the army is, sees that, okay, you're over here dealing damage with the Atlas. That means that this expansion that you've got is vulnerable, and I can come over here. Shadow Flyers coming out. The Scourge going to be able to explode on any dropships that might be nearby. At the same time, though, Hedgehogs are swinging to the left, forcing Hydra to come on back. Imps trying to evacuate out, and they're all dead. Oh, more and more Atlas hits. This base is cleaned up as well, and the Atlas will get lifted up, ready to go fight somewhere else. We do see Fiends find their angle. They get in here fighting Bobs, not getting the angles that they want, though, because he found a nice, perfect spot to hide. But there we go. Hedgehog will get cleaned up. These Fiends aren't long for this world, but the whole point is to kind of force his opponent. Hey, pay attention over here. I'm going to be dealing with this, but losing more and more expansions. This is a difficult position to be in. Hydra is scrambling, trying to find something. This is the frustrating play to fight against, having to deal with these Atlas drops. You need the Shadow Flyers in here to kind of deal with this. And, oh, we do see the floor is lava. Stay back, and, oh, losing some of the Shadow Flyers is tough. He's got to be careful, and there's the Sky Mines and why they're so powerful. The army is kind of split in half here as he's kind of trying to find his way forward here. Hedgehogs kind of locking their way in, said we're going to hold the line. We're going to be as much damage and as annoying as possible as more and more Atlas are over on the right-hand side here. But this base is still secured. And GG is called, knowing that he has nothing left. He will have to tap out, giving Mixu a second game in this series here. What a crazy game. And really shows the power of Hydra and his skill level to hold on as long as possible. No other player would be sitting here in that position and feel comfortable to continue to progress and continue to fight, and that was a rough position to be in, but one that showed that Mixu knows how to play this game. He says, I'm going for all in on mech. If we can go long enough, I know that my Atlas drops, the floor is lava, Hedgehog annoyance will get you in a great lead that I can capitalize and take us to the end and take that series, and that is exactly what he does. But we're jumping into game number 3 in this best of 5 series. Mixu eliminated, knocked to the lower bracket by Hydra in the first round, has won 5 series to make it here. He's currently sitting 2-0 in this series, trying to find his way. Of course, he is our last Vanguard player in the tournament, our red player, Mixu. His opponent, sitting here, worked his way through, sat there, eliminated Mixu in the first round. He is on the edge right now, looking for a way to turn the tide, to come back. He needs to win 3 games in a row. He's our Infernal player known as Hydra. Dog coming out here, harassing, being annoying. Broken Crown is our map. So we've talked about how creeping is important for players. Both players, though, going to be going for kind of that normal opening here. We're going to see the Conclave. We're going to see the push out, try to take the expansion here. And we're going to see Mixu not go for an expansion first. You're up 2 games. Why not? Why not try a little aggro play, shall we? We're going to be seeing our barracks. We're going to see our mech bay added in here, and we're going to kind of get ready to get out on the map and get some dogs going, get some shenanigans going here. There are a lot of creeps on this map, a lot more than some of the other maps that we have to worry about. You can't get out and creep as long as there is a bunch of lancers and dogs causing problems, but there is the flood of dogs. They're going to start working their way forward here. Ooh. Are we getting into the mech bay? We are. Here we go. Hedgehog will start to be produced. He's rushing his way in here. He says, I got my dogs out, and immediately jumps right on top of this gaunt, and this is the problem. You've got to be very careful. Good control from Hydra there. So how well is he going to deal with this? It's going to be tough. This is not something you anticipate. You do not anticipate your opponent, who has gone for an expansion first every game, to go for such a aggressive play. We are seeing the normal defensive modes from Hydra, saying, let's get the Shroud Stone. He's got 2 dogs. He could be going mass dog. He could be just trying to rush his way in here and get a lot of damage done. And I can't really do anything about that if I just have a bunch of gaunts. So I have to kind of hide in my base. He wants to be out here. He wants to be creeping and getting these resources. He'll know his opponent is, because these little triangles are now gone on the minimap. He knows that this is no longer an option for him. But he's going to respond by rushing to a 3rd base. He says, all right, I need to get in here, get things going. We are going to see the expansion go down for Mixu. Mixu is opting for this kind of very aggressive creeping strategy. Now we have enough gaunts. Feel comfortable we can get out here and start doing this. This is the rock that we need to care about, right? Pay attention. Look, you see him right-clicking over here, going for that. The hedgehog zip by. Oh, he gets in. Look at this. Hedgehogs are here. Dog is here. He's got to be careful with the Shroud Stone. But if he was paying attention, he would have noticed that he came through those trees initially. Now, the amount of fiends that are created, the amount of gaunts that are created are scary. The fiends are going to be extremely important for the dealing with all of these hedgehogs. We've seen how fast they were, especially last game. Resource camps get taken. Vision camp goes up. So he knows exactly where his opponent was last. He's not sure if he's moving his way across or not. So he says, well, let's go over here. Let's get a quick reveal. And now I can kind of move my way. Double check. Let's check the top side. Cool. Not over here. Clean this up. Heal up my troops. Be ready for the next stage. He has not scouted and seen this base, though. The way that hedgehog ran through, it went right through this pathway. He knows the trees are down, but he doesn't know that there's a 3rd base yet. You're progressing your game plan. You know what's going on here. You're getting up more mech techs here. You're going in with the mech play, which is very strong, allows him to be able to creep. Both players are creeping. The fiend count is increasing, though. The gaunt count is increasing. This is exactly what we want to see. There is a heavy investment, though. This is a small window where damage could get done if it gets scouted. Look at this. Nice cleanup here. We'll clean all these up. Speed camp goes down. Health camp's going to get taken over here. Oh, the hedgehog is found and seen moving across the map, which means, like, okay, the fiends are ready for an ambush, but can he just zip by? He's going to go in here, take that out. One fiend goes down. There's another imp dead, and oh, he's going to catch him. And can he get out? He can start to try to find the angle to attack. There is the block. Look at that. He blocks him in, puts the shield on it. All of them get cleaned up. Great catch there. Amazingly done. Look at this, dancing around. The shield lasts forever, but that was huge. Great reaction of Hydra, specifically to block. He knows that this is the path to go. Blocks that in there, locks it in, and makes sure that there's nothing that he can do to get out, and it only has to go into the army. That also gives Hydra the information. I just killed off a bunch of your units. You have like nothing here. Then I know that I can be able to get in and push back and try to find an angle. Do you have a 3rd base yet? I'm ahead. That's what that tells him. I am ahead right now. I have a strong army right now. Oop, here's the catch. Catches some of the troops out. Sees a couple of hedgehogs. Because, all right, there's a couple of them. My army is bigger based on that information. I don't know what he's got in his base, but let's confirm that he doesn't have a 3rd base, though, right? He's swinging over here. He can be able to heal up, be in a good spot. And, yeah, look, gets this, confirms. Now he knows he is 100% ahead, and he does not have to be out here and try to fight and lose his advantage. Ooh, we'll lose a couple gaunts for free, though, and there's the fiend's going to turn around and now start to react. That kind of move command does catch him off guard. We'll get a Lancer for free in this, though, and look at these. Oh, hedgehog's very low, but he can't push up and end his opponent, but he doesn't have to. He's ahead. He's got a third base up. He's going to be taking up here. Yep, there we go. Greater Shrine is out. Weavers are out. We just saw that big wave of production utilizing this third base here. And the big key thing about these Weavers, they have that get over here pull ability, but also they have a consume ability where they can consume all of these little fiends to heal themselves. So the more gaunts you have, this heavy conclave production that you've got invested in is going to work out very well for you. Also, hedgehogs try to run away, just pull them. If atlases are in the fight, you can try to pull them. So it's going to be very cool to see this kind of push and transition as we're getting in here. There's the hedgehogs coming over. And they get caught. Oh my gosh, the micro. He runs his way back. Make sure not to lose anything in this process here. And that is huge. But that's a lot of troops that you see, and you've got to keep as many of your hedgehogs alive as possible. The Weavers still hidden, still not revealed. Did he get the upgrade? Oh my gosh. I see nothing but imps. Where is it? Oh man. Oh man. Where is it? Oh, there it is. I was like, where's the ritual chamber? He's trying to end the game here. He says, I'm going to tie up, or I'm going to get this series in my favor here. There's the Atlas. He sees that. This is the dangerous part. He's got to get the imps close enough to actually be able to activate it. A lot of them go down. Now he's moving his way forward here. There they go, activating, going for an explosion. Gets a couple of the troops here. Does take out some of the Atlas. There are two in the back, though, that are going to get microed away with the evac. This is the saving grace of the army. This is all that he's got to help keep him alive here, and he's got to make sure that he keeps this alive as the Weavers make their way forward. The Gaunts are going to start getting cleaned up for a couple of Atlas hits, which is nice. A lot of the Bobs up on the top side are weak. The army is getting split up, but this is so much Infernal army inside of the base here. Look at this. Nice little evac abilities, being able to keep this alive. Does lose that expansion, though, which is huge. This is not a position that you want to be in as Mixu, where your base is overrun by Infernals. More and more Weavers getting added into the mix, and he says, I don't have to worry. I know what my Weavers can do. I know that I have this power. I've lost most of my Gaunts. If I can keep a few alive, then I can keep this push going. And he says, let's go. Camp your production. You'll have no way to produce any additional forces. You're going to have nothing but Atlas, and then that is going to be it. GG is called, and we see Hydra, the great power of the Weaver, the great power of the Conclaves, take that series there and move up into a 1-2 series. Are we going to see the reverse? Are we going to go back? We saw that in the finals with Theory going down and then turning it around and winning a bunch in a row. Showing the power of the Weavers. You love to see it. I don't know what else Mixu could have done other than keep a couple of his troops alive. He never scouted the third base. So really, Mixu was able to get a huge influx of income so much earlier. And that's the downside of I'm going all on the mech. I've got the hedgehogs. I'm fast. I'm mobile. I'm out on the map. I'm doing all these things. This is great. And then they get caught, and you lose about 4 of them. You're like, well, that was a huge investment. Okay, I've got 4 more. Let's send them all out. Let's get out there. But he never really got that information until it was like, well, now there's a bunch of Weavers in my base, and I'm dead. Spawning up here in the north, our player currently down 1-2 in the series. Originally knocking Mixu to the lower bracket, is trying to climb his way back. He's got to win 2 more in a row. It is Hydra. His opponent sitting here, the last Vanguard player, winning 5 series in a row to make it to the loser bracket finals. He's looking for revenge against the person that eliminated him originally. He is known as Mixu. And like we would see, we've got our little doggo harassment. So switching things up, going back to what he did before, instead of relying on the very fast, very aggressive tech up, he says, we'll get there. We'll get to the tech route. Let's kind of build up for a little bit here first, right? Let's get some of our economy going, and then we're going to add our barracks in here, and then we'll see what we can make happen. Are we going to go for a heavier bio play? Are we going to go for a heavier, mech play like we've been seeing? we'll see. But there we go. Imp coming down. Going to try to take the expansion, which is a safe opening that we're seeing from our Infernal player. Hydra just kind of going, okay, I'll utilize the little bits that I've got, build up my economy, get my gaunts out just like I did before, and then I'll start creeping. In the meantime, the doggo is on the hunt for resource flowers. He knows they're here somewhere, and so he's going to do his best to get out there. Second dog is out. Yep, we see the biokinetics lab. So there we are seeing our adjustments to our play from previously. Bob's coming out here. We'll start getting the sentry post, and we know what the expansion is going to be. So our biokinetics lab kind of giving us that indication it is going to be the heavier dog play, and we're going to see a bit more out and aggressive on the map, allowing a little bit more creeping. Both players are very active and very good about the creeping. Now, you will give, very nice to notice that. So just like we've talked about before, we are looking for our little kite back. It's right about here, this middle part, this kind of like stick out part of this second little bit of flower bush area there on the side, if you're looking for where the kite back, because there are little indicators on the map that oh, the dog. The snipes, that is huge. Surprise out of nowhere. Hey, guess what? That's cool that you're creeping, but imagine if you didn't. And I'm going to jump in here and take those out. Wow, well done. And now we can be able to come in here and take out the last remaining speed camp. Boom, boom, boom. Leveling up. Look at this scout. He's an elite scout. Oh my gosh. 24 health plus 10 damage. Heal that guy. Get him over there. There's the Shroud Stone coming up, which will not be long for this world. We can be able to eat this. That gets canceled, but eaten alive. And what do you got over here? Do you got anything? Oh, you got a couple. Actually, so this is why you do this. In case there is the kind of heavier dog play, you have to position yourself with your gaunts so they're safe. Because we know if they get surrounded, they're destroyed. So we position ourselves where we can be able to run the block, get them locked in a nice safe spot. There's the double conclave to kind of really produce as many of those as possible. Sneak in a Shroud Stone in here. In the meantime, expansion has come down. Mech Bay is the transition. So we said, all right, we got to utilize our initial dog push. That worked out great. Sell that off. Let's jump into the mech tech, and we'll be able to start meching our way forward here. Let's mech it happen. We've got enough dogs now to be able to really continue to utilize this. Yeah, look at this. An elite dog. Who expected that in this game, huh? We'll be able to clean this up, start getting extra resources to be produced here that he will be able to need to help him produce that mech army. We've got a couple of weak dogs that will be going back and getting healed up, but great start here. There's the little Doombringer drop. I was like, okay, where is the transition for it? With the double conclave, it makes the most sense to go for this Doombringer drop, and that is the case. We are going to be seeing this push up here. Dogs are scary, but not as scary as a bunch of Doombringers dropping down a bunch of gaunts, but that means the base is going to be vulnerable. There's not going to be as many troops. He's going to have to rely heavily on the amount of Shroud Stones that he's got there to kind of tower up. And he brought an imp. Ooh, he's taking a third/fourth base. He's taking the center. He says, I'm sneaking this in here. I need an advantage. I'm a little bit behind. Let's do it. Of course, we do have the Vision Camp knowing that that is coming. How well is he going to be prepared to deal with this? Third base is up, but it's vulnerable. He's trying to get his sentry post up. We'll start taking some damage. Dogs coming over here. We'll lose the sentry post. There's the Hedgehog. By itself, though, is not that strong. Especially when he gets juggled and trapped. Oh, my gosh. That is huge. He's running it away. Bobs are there to help repair it, though. And we do see a Lancer added into the mix. Some of these fiends are coming over here, though, because we do see some Bobs getting cleaned up here. And Dog's really weak and does turn into a fiend. Another Hedgehog gets added to the mix, but this is just kind of the lift up. Let's transition over here. Start dealing some damage to the Bobs inside the main base. And oh, no reaction from Mixu there with those, and those will get cleaned up. He's trying to position himself, get things set up, and look, there we go. Okay, he's got this here. Try to deal some damage. This is the downside. Once it's in anti-air mode, it can no longer attack ground units, and he has to kind of fall back. You're going to need multiple of those. We do see a nice little Repair-O-Matic coming in, trying to keep these units alive, but it is not enough. As those Bobs start to fall, the sentry post falls, and now it's a little scramble to kind of deal with this. This was a great push there, and well, see you later, Mr. Doombringer. We'll see you back at base, but that is a great little push did some good economic damage, set himself up, and now the Bobs can really start kind of setting themselves up into this next stage. We see the additional barracks, the additional bio to next. So he is saying, I need some hedgehogs to help me with some speed, some mobility on the map, but that's not my end goal. I'm going to be getting into the heavier bio play, and that information is important. That is something that, of course, that Hydra was able to scout and get that information, but he is teching heavily. You're going to see this really prioritizing the secondary resource. There's the ritual chamber, additional iron vaults, conclaves coming down, and he's going to be really relying heavily on these Doombringer plays here. And dancing around, trying to find an angle. He knows that if he can catch his opponent, it'll be good. And we see a little bit of anti-air, getting a couple shots, trying to weaken that extra health. Ooh, see ya. Is this our special? Oh my gosh. Look at this. A champion dog. Our original dog from the beginning. He is now a champion. 192 health. Keeps scouting. Keeps getting that information. Uh-oh. The dance. Finding his way into the main base. There we go. Here's the hedgehogs coming out here. He's ready for that. Look at that quick response there. Immediately starts targeting it down. Will push him over to the side. Where's that other hedgehog? Oh, he left. Oh, okay, there's the recall. Knows that he can't really afford to fly over there, but forcing his opponent into this defensive mode to really capitalize on this transition, this tech. Something that he says, hey, you have to be the one paying attention to what I'm doing. I'm going to attack you. I'm going to harass you. You stay over there on your side of the base. Don't worry about what I'm doing on my side of the map. You just worry about your side where I keep attacking you. And now we see the transition. The Weavers, the Gaunts, the Doombringers coming out here. We're getting this big shift, the big transition into the next stages of the game. But with the fast speed of the dogs, of the hedgehogs, we can start to see, all right, let's creep out, let's get ourselves in position, and we've got kind of two armies moving on either side of the map right now. A big position here for Hydra to kind of work his way forward and try to go for another attack. We see Mixu getting ready for that next stage, the next power-up. Will he be ready, though? That's going to be tough. The army is catching any reinforcements, though. That is indication, okay, the army might be moving out. And he's going to try to see what he can see. Nothing really there. Repositions. Oh, he caught a glimpse. So now he can kind of fall back. But he has no idea about the center still. Lots of barracks there. Lots of lancers there. Okay, evac is out now. Do we have any Atlas added in here yet? Not yet. Machine Lab getting added in. Oh, our Exo getting caught, but does get the confirmation of where the army is, which is huge here. But this is the scary push. Look at how many Weavers are stalking their way across the map. The siege up here, we're going to start going right on top of these barracks here. There's the Doombringer trying to add a little bit of extra support. Being able to add that shroud on the ground to add that extra white health bar for all of these units. And there, we're starting to get the grabs coming over here. A lot of these forces over on the side. We're going to see Bob Overcharge going to start surrounding some of these Weavers. Some of these hedgehogs getting yanked forward here, but there's not as much support here with these Weavers. But so he's got to be careful. He's really going to have to rely on a lot of these pulls to pull these hedgehogs into the force. But Lancers jumping on top of these forces. We've got nothing but swords slicing and dicing it. Weavers, though, very hardy. They have so much health that it's so hard to slice through, especially with those gaunts that are underneath getting fiends. These guys can be able to consume, eat them, make it so much easier, and this push is going to be decimating this expansion here. We do see a bunch of them dropping their way forward here, trying to catch it, but look just how much that takes to kill one of them here. He was able to get in there, clean up that middle expansion, knew it with those drops. Atlas is now out, trying to be the saving grace to kind of help him out here, but this push is really, really... Oh, there's the pull! Where? Oh my gosh, double pulls. Cleans up the Atlas. That was going to try to help save him in this position here. But the Weavers just slamming their way into this expansion, taking out the third base. And it is 2 base versus 2 base, though. Can he have enough to hold? There's so many Weavers. Oh, my gosh. Ooh, this is loaded up with so many troops. He needs this to be left alive. 30 health here. There he gets it back here. And there we see Vulcans charging their way forward. Look at that DPS that is starting to shred through. If he can kill a lot of these Gaunts, it's going to make his life so much easier. Lancers popping out now, and this is the line that he's trying to hold. He has to hold here, take out all of these Weavers in order to stay alive. If Hydra can push his way forward, he will secure and tie up the series in a 2-2 fashion. It's so close. We have, of course, not very many production facilities. All the barracks that existed for Mixu were over at the third base, so his production is almost non-existent at this point. A medtech comes out and immediately gets sniped over here, and we are seeing falling back further and further. Vulcans moving their way forward here, gets yanked. We will see the hot pickup here, keeping it alive and trying to shred from the high ground, but does get yanked up there. Not going to be able to stay alive, and GG is called, tying up the series 2-2 with the relentless Weaver push here. Great series there for our Infernal player to tie it up. Are we going to have the reverse sweep? Is the same thing going to happen that we saw in the upper bracket final? What a game that was. The Weaver push. Oh my gosh. That center map, getting that secondary resource that he could use and just pump right into it, was that main thing that had been going on for so long, where we got to see this kind of big power up. Mixu was ready for it. He's like, okay, I'm ready to get into the next stages. I'm getting a lot of barracks added on here. Let's get ready to go for the next game. And it was just not happening. It wasn't ready because the Weaver onslaught came across the map and got him. Now we're going to be getting into game number 5. It is tied up 2-2. Can go either way in this series. Right now, Mixu took a quick 2-0 lead. Hydra has turned it around, won 2 in a row. Will he be able to get that next nail in the coffin? Will he eliminate Mixu a second time? He, of course, was the player that took Mixu and knocked him to the loser bracket, forced him in here. And we've got, of course, spawning up in the north, our red Infernal player. The player that is going for this reverse sweep here. The one that is trying to eliminate and be the only one to eliminate Mixu twice. He is known as Hydra. Mixu, of course, our player down to the bottom. He has had such a phenomenal run. He's won 5 series in a row. He started out this series with a 2-0 lead here, and now he... Oh, the dog gets caught! Look at this cheeky play. The dog is dead. That is huge. Wow. Wow, that was nice. That hurts for Mixu. Like, you know he's feeling bad about that. So he immediately goes, all right, well, I've lost my first fighter. Let's just expand and go from there. Hydra has been very good about his aggressive expanding when his opponent is expanding or turtling up. He goes, okay, you've been going for these heavier tech units. Maybe this is my time. Maybe this is where I need to kind of go through and start progressing forward and teching up and getting set up here. But no, we see him kind of moving his way forward to going into the normal creeping that we expect to see from these players here. I don't know, this series has been great. All series today have been great. They've been super close, super back and forth. There's been no like clear chance of one person kind of winning over another. Like, it's all been a showcase of such high level play. And now we're going to be seeing who is the one that will fight Theory in the end. Will Mixu be our last Vanguard player to make it to the grand finals? Or will it be another Infernal versus Infernal matchup here? Now we see the big addition of barracks. We're seeing our creep adventuring over here on the west side of the map as our Gaunts are powering up, doing all this little shenanigans here. We see the nice little kite back. Hey, pay attention over here. Come over here. Fiends are going to pop out, and we'll make a nice little quick cleanup of that. And he knows that he is perfectly safe to do this because his opponent was losing that dog initially. So it's like, you're in the dark. You have no idea what's going on. Let me send a Fiend, though, just to confirm that there's not some crazy all-in coming, that you actually are expanding. And yep, he does. He confirms that, okay, you've expanded. I see what you've got. You've got the biokinetics lab here. You've got Lancers coming out. So you're just kind of going a very standard bio opening for here. Nothing crazy. Not going for any more mech play. yet. It's still good once we get later to tech into Atlas and stuff like that, but we're nowhere near there. We're in these early stages where there's going to be a little bit of harassment, a little bit of poking and prodding, a little bit of scouting, and all of these fiends continuing to add to the Infernal army. Here's what things are going to look like over on the other side. We're going to see Iron Vaults get added. We're eventually going to be taking up either into our third base, which looks like it's coming up soon, as well as expanding our tech route by getting a greater shrine here. But this is kind of I'm going to respond to my opponent by getting my economy stronger. They have their expansion. They can't really move out on the map very easily, very well. Then let's get ready for this. Lancers, of course, will be able to at least steal this one resource camp, which is nice. Every little bit counts. And denying your opponent additional army and resources is important. A little bit of extra on top here as we're going to increasing our Lancer count. Now, we talked about how Lancers are very strong. They're very hardy, especially if you're fighting a lot of gaunts, but got to be careful. Oh, look at this. He's coming in here. He's going to deny it. Nice denial. Now, this is the dangerous part. That's not a lot of fighting forces. Is he going to scout this? Oh my gosh, he does not. He doesn't move up the ramp. That's the dangerous part. Like, oh man, it's like, if you go up there, you could ambush and die. But it's like, at the same time, you want to get information about what's happening on the map. So one of the ways to do it is just like, let's check over here, see what you've got. I'll get this camp from you. You can't have this one. Third base is going down for both players, though. We're getting into kind of that next stage of the game. There is our greater shrine out. We only have 2 production facilities right now, though. So that means, like, your production cycles are going to be a little bit limited until you can get additional. This is a much stronger force than it was before. He's going to come up here. There's 2 Shroud Stones, though, so it's not like this is going to really do too much. So he's going to go in, poke and prod a little bit, just see what he can get done. Again, these are very tanky, good control, just kind of pulling back the weakened ones. Every little bit that you do matters. There it is. There's the Doombringer. He knows the next plan. So if he can keep his opponent over here and keep attacking him, then he'll be able to keep the Doombringer on his side of the base and not worry. This is kind of this position we've been seeing from players, right? Who's going to be the one aggressing? Who's going to be the one in each other's face, forcing them to defend? Now he's got to run back and heal up these troops, and he can go again. This is very similar to game 1 that we saw with this play from Mixu. Now he's got to be ready for the potential of drops. Right, we're seeing Exos started to get added on here. Bob's coming out here. He wants to take another quick expansion. So this is very much mirroring what we saw before. I'm going to be the one aggressing. You want to come and drop me? Go ahead. Come and drop. But it's not going to go well. And yeah, look at this. Doombringer turns around and goes, oh, you're not done. You're coming back. Okay. All right. Yes, let's go back and we have to defend. And look, Imps even evacuate knowing how scary of a fighting force this is. And where are the additional production facilities? Did he add them on? Oh my gosh, he's teching up instead of adding on extra. So this is all he's got. It's going to be very hard for him to produce additional troops here. He went for this higher tech hoping that he could get across the map, but he needed more production facilities. He's not going to have as many cycles to be able to sit here and produce units to be able to defend this. Yes, he's got defender's advantage, but look at this. We're cleaning things up. A lot of the Lancers staying alive just barely. Oh my gosh, got to be careful. This guy's 3 health. And the aggressive push is working out great. Look at this. Yeah, keeps swinging his way back in. They're so fast, knowing that his opponent is stuck here. He can't mine here. He's now... He hasn't scouted third base yet, but he can assume his opponent has a third base at this point in time. And he goes, okay, I'll keep attacking here. I'll keep this up. Keep the pressure on you. Weavers are coming out. So now we're seeing the transition. Okay, let's go into the higher tech. But guess what? You have no natural. You're on 2 bases to my 4 bases. And I have a huge bio army. Cool. We'll make sure your supply cap, too, on top of that by getting rid of your farm. And yeah, look at this. Lots of production facilities coming out. Oh my gosh, the Weaver just getting shredded. Look how slow he is. Oh, there we go. Doombringer coming out here, helping him out. And hey, oh, there's your base. What's going to happen if you have no economy? Here's the Imps coming their way forward here, doing their best to kind of be annoying, being scary. We're going to see a lot of towers get added in here. And now we're going to see what is the response. Will he just start slicing through him? Army's coming on the backhand side, but look at how powerful this Bioforce is. The Exos are shredding through things. Lancers don't even care. We say, listen, we're hardy. We do a lot of damage. Ooh, a Plague's going to come down. Can he micro out of it? He does. There's like nothing that gets taken out here. This Force is taking out all the Gauns. The Weaver's left alone here, and Hydra's kind of left in shambles with very limited production. GG, good luck in the finals, and well played. Mixu takes the series. Very powerful bio play. Great job. 3-2 in Mixu's favor here. What a series that was, guys.